The house was an old log cabin set deep within an isolated woodland. Tall trees surrounded it, their shadows stretching long as the late afternoon sun cast a golden light over the scene. The quiet rustling of leaves filled the air, setting a peaceful yet strangely unsettling tone. Sydney, just 5 years old, stood beside her father as he hammered away, building a fence in their backyard. She watched him, her small face drawn in disappointment, looking for attention in the secluded surroundings of their new home. One day, Sydney told her father about a new friend she had met in the woods. She described her with such detail, as if she had really seen this friend. Her father brushed it off, thinking it was just her imagination. Excitedly, Sydney went on to describe her friend. She said she had long, dark hair, wore a big yellow jacket, and, most unsettling of all, had deep blue eyes without pupils. Her father's face grew tense, sensing something odd, but not yet concerned. Her father, kneeling to meet her gaze, gently warned her not to talk to strangers, even if they seemed nice. Sydney's innocent nod showed her confusion, while he tried to hide the quiet concern building in his mind. That night, Sydney's father lay in bed, struggling to sleep. Faint whispers drifted down the hallway from Sydney's room. At first, he thought it was his imagination, but the murmurs persisted, unsettling him to his core. Entering her room, her father found Sydney sitting up, talking softly to someone she called Beth. She looked up at him with a strange calmness, the soft glow of her nightlight casting a haunting light over her face. Sydney's calm expression turned distant as she mentioned a tall, skinny man in the shadows, describing him with eerie precision. Her father listened, his face growing pale as her innocent voice filled the air with descriptions that defied reason. In the dead of night, just as he reached for his phone, a chilling whisper echoed from down the hall. He froze, feeling a creeping terror as he turned, gripping his phone tightly, unable to shake the sense of something horribly wrong. He raced to Sydney's room, only to freeze in horror. A tall, skeletal figure crouched beside her bed, grinning down at her with enormous, vacant eyes and an impossibly wide smile. Sydney gazed at it, seemingly unafraid, as it whispered to her, its cold hand extended with a silver rose. The creature whispered something to Sydney, then slowly turned its gaze toward her father. Its neck twisted in an unnatural way, and its hollow eyes locked onto him. Sydney's face seemed transfixed, as if mesmerized by the monster's voice. With grotesque, jerking motions, the creature climbed onto the ceiling, moving with impossible agility. It grinned down at him, its body contorting as it seemed to mock his terror. Paralyzed, he could only watch as it moved closer. He slammed his bedroom door just as the creature lunged toward him. Heavy thuds and scratching sounds filled the air as it pounded from the other side. Shaking the door violently, he pressed his weight against it, breath coming in shallow gasps as he waited for the sounds to stop. Desperate, he grabbed his rifle and rushed back into Sydney's room, but she was gone. Her bed was empty, the blankets disheveled. The window hung open, curtains blowing in the cold night air. As he stood there, hollow and horrified. Now, sitting in a dimly lit bar, he tells his story to a stranger who listens with discomfort. His voice shakes as he relives the horror, his face empty and haunted. The low murmur of voices fills the bar, but a dark weight lingers over him, an experience that will never let him go.